Previously on
Acoustic Blue.
My gaming life sucks ass. I need to turn this gaming life into a gaming wife? Why, where, when? No online competitive games. I will play games only at home. I will exclusively play RPGs. Only one single player game installed on every machine. I will fix my gaming life by simply not playing games. I made it. Welcome everyone. First, let me address the elephant in the room. The elephant in the room. Yes, this is the face that you'll have to look at for some time now, and you will have to attach to the name Acoustic Blue, because many of you have accused me of being an AI voice, but this is a proof that I'm obviously not. Anyways, I bet you read and watched the news, right? RAM prices went up to the sky. GPUs are becoming more expensive and more scarce, and there's no new hardware in sight because everything now is just AI, and that Steam machine you've been looking to buy for a while now, the rumors say it might even be $1,000 expensive. You don't see how this will affect you? Well, the next phone, the next TV, the next fridge you buy will be more expensive because of memory shortages. How about your next Ass Blaster 9000 waifu will be affected too? Now you seem worried, right? Why am I even talking about hardware though? Modern gamers already have several boogeymen to keep them up at night. You have games that are getting more expensive. You have mile-long backlogs, subscription services that have hundreds of games, and that's like instant access as soon as you subscribe. You have open world games with generic side content, and these games are just like 100 hours long. So yeah, I'm talking about Assassin's Creed games. Add to that less time to play and the possibility of not being able to upgrade your PC or buy a console because of a price hike would make many frustrated, just like I was last year when I made the video about fixing my gaming life. Let me know in the comments below how you feel about your gaming habits, whether there are things you would like to change or not, or maybe you've already improved your gaming life in some ways. I'd be happy to hear about your thoughts. Buy a Steam Deck. What the f? If you missed my original video on the topic, I established 4 pillars that will help me reach a state of gaming zen. Why, where, when, and how I will complete this challenge. I will go over each pillar. I will tell you what my original plan was and how I feel now about it, whether something has changed positively or whether I made things worse with some of those. So the first pillar was why I decided to do all this. Simply put, I realized I had a pretty unhealthy relationship with games. Looking back on my channel, most of my videos were negative. I struggled to drop games I didn't really enjoy. My plan was to somehow restructure the way I see and play games, to make the most out of them. Not in a sense that I had to do absolutely everything in the game, but that I would play a game as long as I felt the drive to play it. I wanted to somehow be more invested in games while I'm playing them and more invested in my life outside of playing games, as I thought staying in the moment will help me enjoy both sides of my life more than I did before. And let me tell you, I did manage to do just that, maybe by sheer luck because of the nature of the games I played and the people I've met in 2025, but more on that later. But did you get a Steam Deck? Bro, I've already complained about not having enough time to play games and about having a huge backlog. Why the fuck would I get one? I don't know, it would be kinda nice. That is your reasoning? $550 for would be kinda nice? The second pillar was where, and here I mostly talked about having a busy life and trying to game wherever I could. This feels like I'm one of those weather forecast folks, like, there will be rain here. Just write a comment below if you think I would be a good weatherman. The fuck wrote this script? Anyways, I used to own a Nintendo Switch OLED, and I really loved the system. However, I decided to sell it because I felt like having an additional system was very distracting for me, and I needed to lower my urge to play wherever. Not only that, but I felt like I was doing a disservice to some games because I rushed them while I was out of town, and I knew I would forget about them as soon as I'd get home and play on my beefy-ass PC. And I think I got this pillar half right. I did manage to focus more on the game if I just sat on my chair and I stared at my monitor, but I was wrong to assume that the best place to play is always sitting on the chair. Spending 8 to 10 hours a day sitting sure ain't pretty, and turning 30 this year, I keep seeing an expiration date on my hips and my knees. Going from desk at work to desk at home isn't always the most satisfying feeling, as the feeling of responsibility just shifted from one chair to another. It's hard to describe, but it felt like gaming is just a means to an end, you know, it's just a way to reach some kind of goal for myself, whether it be get more footage for YouTube or just scratch a name off my backlog. It felt less like leisure time, you know. You know, this would be the right time to say you bought a Steam Deck. You mother... When will I reach 1,000 subscribers? Smash that subscribe button like you would smash Tubi or Ada Wong or Leon Kennedy. I don't judge. I think I hit the nail on the head with this one. I felt like sometimes I wanted to do or learn or watch other things, but I thought it would be a waste of time to try not to complete that one game that I started months ago, so I would force myself to play just for the sake of playing. Choosing my time to play definitely helped me enjoy games more, but I feel like I went even a step further this time around. Back in July, I released a video called Bad at Games, Watch This, where I talked about not forcing yourself to play one game only, especially after long days of work. My idea was to experiment with playing long-ass games during weekends and short-ass games during work days. I feel like playing 30 minutes of a 100-hour game is like sitting down to read 2 pages of a 500-page book right before you go to bed. As someone who cannot read books without having Subway Surfers playing in the background, I'm sure I'm a really good point of reference. And this approach, it worked really well for me. Not only did I manage to accelerate clearing my backlog, but it made it also more fun. Currently I'm playing Kingdom Come Deliverance as my big game, and some quests are absurdly long. Turning on the game just to have 3 dialogues before going to bed would kind of break the feeling of the cohesion of the entire quest line itself, so I would leave it for another day when I had more time and more energy to play, and I would instead, for example, start Mario Galaxy 2 and clear a level or 2. And finally, the moment you've all been waiting for, I'm sure. The final pillar is how I thought I would fix my gaming life. Not actually how I did, but how I thought I would. There were 5 rules I made for myself. The first one is no online competitive games with ranking systems. The second is playing games only at home without multitasking. Third one is exclusively playing RPGs, at least for the first 6 months. Yes. The fourth one is I will have only one single player game installed on each system I own. And the fifth one is to not play games. Why am I doing jazz hands? Okay. The first rule I respected for the first couple months because I was too focused playing RPGs, but then again, when an opportunity presented to play with some new people, I caved in and I reinstalled Counter-Strike and League. Everyone who knows me is aware of the fact that I don't play online competitive games solo. Not because I want to be a femboy getting carried by his teammates, but because I play these games mostly for the social aspect. Spreading autism in Counter-Strike 2 voice chat is definitely the most fun I've had playing these games, or almost any games. Sure, some moments do get stressful, but it's mostly because of my reluctance to stop and actually study these games, and way less because of the things I can't control, aka the other people. As I feel playing these kinds of games is a good razzle-dazzle and a short burst of fun, I don't think this rule affected me at all. When it comes to the second one, I don't think this one was very hard because if I play and I do nothing else at the same time. Unless I play a multiplayer game without a voice chat, I don't play any music or listen to any videos or do anything else. Granted, I do sometimes get distracted by text messages and receiving some epic reel pulls, but if I leave my phone on Do Not Disturb, I might miss an important call or two, so I allow myself to be distracted this way. Besides these 2 games, I haven't taken any notes in any other games, so I think I managed to stay somewhat immersed without any distractions. Also, I think I'm organizing my weekends better now, because as soon as I wake up, I will do my chores, I will read something or watch an episode of the show I missed, and then I can game carefreely without any second thoughts. But Steam Deck is so cool, you can take it outside. The third rule was borderline impossible. Sticking to only RPGs would mean playing only one game at a time for months. I heard that Heath Ledger prepared for role of Joker by playing RPGs only for a year. Sure, it was easy to get immersed and binge them because this year I played some bangers like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth and Expedition 33, and I sunk dozens of hours in both games. Even though I did play some other games, I really managed to care more about these RPGs. My brain usually turns into mush every time I see text, but this time around, if I didn't understand the story or what was going on, I didn't hesitate to read explanations on Reddit to get closer to the games I enjoyed playing. And this rule was kind of closely tied to the fourth one, because although I told myself I will only have one single player game installed on each system, because of the reasons I mentioned before, I had one big game and one small game installed at all times, so I would play the big game when I had a lot of free time and a small one when I had less free time and energy. And really, I found this approach to be very balanced for me, because I used to have like 5 or 6 or 7 single player games installed at all times. Like I would benchmark something new, or I really wanted to be ahead and I wanted to play the latest and greatest new game, and I would just end up accumulating games until my SSD is sucked dry. The final rule I set is to enjoy my life outside of games. Although I still played a lot this year, somewhere between 700 and 1000 hours, I also spent a lot of time not playing games. Most of my free time outside of gaming went into spending time with people close to me, and it was really refreshing, albeit a bit exhausting for my introverted ass. Spending more time not playing games made me even happier when I sat down in front of the PC. Also, making these videos were really a blast for me. It is time consuming, but I absolutely love it. It's some sort of creative outlet for me, if you can call this kind of thing creative, but oh well. But if you'd like to support what I do, I will leave a link in the description, and it would go towards getting a wireless mic or other equipment that would make my videos higher quality, or even games that I would play and talk about. Now, some additional things I'd like to talk about that made gaming more enjoyable for me. The first one is to... Yes, I'm a High School Musical fan. Sue me. What I mean by this is accept things as they are. As I mentioned before, hardware is getting super expensive, games already are. Take a look at your PC or console and you probably already have a huge library of games just waiting for you to press that play button. Or you're paying for a subscription that gives you access to like a zillion games. I understand playing games on release feels like you're catching up with everyone else, but you don't really need to unless you're a big fan of the series. Hell, there are even tons of games, even series that I cherish the most, like Yakuza games, where I haven't played the latest entry or two because I didn't want to pay the premium price, and you know, it was just not on my priority list. I had tons of other games to play. Fear of missing out is a very real thing in all spheres of life, but if you learn to control it, peace of mind is almost guaranteed. Instead, maybe invest in something that will improve your gaming life in some other way with the games that you already have. This year my big purchases were an OLED monitor and a controller with TMR sticks and mechanical buttons. I will leave the links in the description if you are interested in checking them out. The controller is more affordable than the first-party PS5, Nintendo, and Xbox controllers, and it's so much more durable. I have experienced stick drift on every single PlayStation controller since the PS4, and buying new controllers every year is really costly and out of the question. And before you tell me, but my sticks don't drift, you need to turn off the Sims and turn the difficulty up, and we'll see after how many flicks your sticks will give out. Sure, the controller I bought doesn't have the fanciest vibration, but I don't have to worry about the stick drift, hopefully, as long as the controller works. Not only that, but it arrives with a freaking docking station, so as soon as I finish gaming, I just set it down. I don't have to worry about the battery at all, which is already a lot better than my DualSense battery to begin with. When it comes to buying an OLED monitor, I understand this is a very privileged take on gaming because these screens are so damn expensive, but man, does it make a difference. HDR looks absolutely fantastic. Games just pop on these screens. Retro games look even better. Watching content is just more enjoyable. I'm not telling you to go eat bread only for 3 months so you can save up for an OLED screen, but consider making an upgrade that would not cost as much, but that would make a big difference. Like for example, going from a 60Hz screen to 144Hz, which would cost like $100, but it will really transform your games. Bro, you can just save some water and electricity by turning your underwear inside out and wear it like that for 2 days, and the Steam Deck is surely yours. You happy now? That was my year. If you're interested in 40 games I played this year, not including the multiplayer games, my backlog profile is down in the description. But if you'd like me to make a tier list of all the games I played, Please let me know. Also, I'm interested to hear about your 2025 as a gamer. Did you buy some new hardware? And if yes, did it meet your expectations? Did you change your gaming habits and how? Or are you perfectly satisfied with the way things are? Thank you for being here with me. It means the world to me, and I would really appreciate it if you left a like, if you shared the video and subscribed to my channel, and especially if you blessed me with your thoughts in the comment section. And I will see you in the next one. As always, ciao.